Good evening and welcome to the Stone and Wood Post Show. What a Saturday, packed with maybe more fans than I've ever seen here at Snapper Rocks. Stop number 3 of the World Surf League Championship Tour and the final stop for the GWM Aussie Treble. Yeah, we've got music on the beach. Everybody's dancing, cartwheeling. It was one of those days where you're just so stoked to be watching pro surfing. What a way to end the day here in the evening light. Joe Turpel, Jesse Starling, Richie Lovett. Great job, you guys. There's so much intense moments throughout the day today. Some upsets went down. The waves came to life just as predicted. And we saw a really serious show today, Jesse.
I loved every minute of it. There was a couple of really big upsets today as well. I'm still scratching my head that Caroline Marks is out of the draw. I really had her as a pick to go all the way, just with how good she's been surfing. I got really psyched up in the Nowadays film as well. Her part is incredible. So I'm a bit rattled on some of the upsets, but you know what? That's pro surfing. That's what happens.
It's a good message, too, you know, with Nadia out of the rookie class. I mean, the top storylines on the top 24 are the return of the world champions, Caroline, Molly, Caity, you know, but we were like, what is the rookie class going to do with all that? And Nadia certainly showed up today.
She put on a display that was incredible today, and I said it in that heat. You know, she's building a reputation in her rookie season as one of the strongest backhand surfers on the women's side of the tour. Really, really good surfing, and I feel like she's just getting stronger and stronger. She could go deep into this event.
Well, we just had that last heat come to a close with still some time on the clock, and the Water Patrol picked up Caity Simmers and also Vahine Fierro out of the water with still some time there after a couple of great scores that went down from both of them. What happened from Tours and Competition is they told us that a shark was spotted within 500 meters of the competition zone during that last heat. The heat was immediately put on hold in accordance to WSL safety protocols. Event officials and the water safety team monitored the situation and determined to keep the heat on hold until the next competition day. After activating the response protocols and discussing with the surfers, women's round 2 heat number 3 will either resume at the restart of the heat or depending on the next competition day's conditions. The safety of our surfers and staff remains our top priority, and the next call will be tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. for a possible 7:05 start. So we're still waiting to see the official call if we finish up with that remaining minutes on the clock, or if it will be a complete restart, kind of similar to what we saw up in Newcastle in the heat where Cade was winning and then had to start all over the next morning. We'll find out tomorrow morning. The big news that we were just talking about was Nadia, and I kind of want to relive those big moments because it's not every day that you show up and get your best score into the 8s, back it up in the next round, and take down a world champion like Caroline Marks, who has won out here on the Gold Coast in the past, Jesse.
Yeah, I really loved that heat. I just loved the goofy footers absolutely going for it. And the fact that 12 months can do so much for someone. Nadia this time last year was really struggling to find her feet, to find her place on the championship tour. This year she's come back and you can see the confidence, it's glowing out of her. She's smiling. She's got a bigger smile than what we saw last year, and she actually seems to be really enjoying it as well. So Nadia going into the quarterfinals, that's a massive confidence boost for her at this stage in her career.
Oh, it's interesting. You know, when you don't feel the belief, but you have the surfing, and your support crew's trying to do everything they can to show you that you believe. But she said she had to qualify and not be a replacement to feel it herself. Here's some of that vision, Rich.
Yeah, and she also said that she's been feeling really good about this backhand approach that she's had. She's been working on it for the last couple of seasons, and Snapper Rocks is the perfect canvas to put it on show. And I feel like she's getting the opportunity now in these heats to get some of these better waves that perhaps you don't get in the warm-ups out here. And she's exploring where she can go with it. You know, she's toying with the lip. She's starting to get that little tail drift happening, and it's looking amazing. So, yeah, she's going to be really strong. You can see here the form just picking the best waves. Caroline, we can't actually just discredit the fact that she came back so strong. You know, she really waged a good comeback. And I think time just beat her at the end.
She was comboed at the halfway mark, Jesse, and really was building towards her comeback here.
That really does speak volumes to the world champion surfer she is, to fight back at such a dying stage. But Nadia saying Australia's starting to feel a lot like home for her. There's a lot of Spanish and a lot of Basque people here in her corner. And you can see right running into the arms of her loved ones. And I'm stoked for her, to be honest. I'm all about an underdog story. It's in our blood as Australians to love an underdog. And Nadia, yeah, she's the front runner in that storyline right now.
Oh, huge upset, past champ, world champ out of the draw here in round 2. And Caroline was really picking this event to kind of pop back in to that world title conversation. Now with 3 events down in 2026, how surprised are you Caroline's in the position she's in?
A complete head scratcher, really, because when we go back to this full season, we don't have the cut anymore. We know how good Caroline is under pressure. I mean, look at the comeback she had today. But to have a full year now, she's going to have to do her best Griffin Colapinto and turn this around pretty quickly. Obviously, Griffin with a really horrible start at the last year and then went on to be second in the world, came so close to his maiden world title. Caroline's going to have to take a leaf out of his book because this is definitely not the start she's looking for.
And she's always been leaning on her backhand abilities, you know, but now heading to Raglan as a goofy footer, that should give her some excitement to kind of switch gears and hop to a fresh event.
She's so strong on the forehand. We've seen it, you know, at places like lowers left and other breaks where she can just perform so beautifully. Being the goofy footer, I think Raglan's going to suit her. The problem here is that, you know, in the last few years we've done final 5 and, you know, you just got to get into that top 5 and then everything kind of gets sort of cleared and you have the opportunity to win the world title. It's accumulative now. She's got to do the work, and each time she dips out early, you know, that those bad results, you've really got to offset them with a finals finish or, you know, at least a semi-final finish. So there is pressure starting to build now. She needs to start performing.
Well, that was a situation of last year's world runner-up going down to a rookie. We saw the same situation go down on the men's side. Rookie on tour, Matteas Herdy taking on last year's world runner-up, Griffin Colapinto, both with the same ability to have big, high performance, spontaneous combinations of turns at snapper. And Matteas kept heating up, one of the biggest heat wins of his career.
Still, another head scratcher. I cannot believe Griffin Colapinto is out of the draw, but Matteas just found a flow that we've never seen before from him, not on the Championship Tour stage. He's usually had a couple of decision makes that I haven't fully been convinced with, but this heat, it was so perfect. No notes from Matteas Herdy. He put risk in his surfing. He had great wave selection. He played priority really well, and he outdid world number 2 last year. Griffin had a beautiful fight back. I mean, you can see how good his surfing is, just where he's at this year, and he's definitely someone that you'd think is going to be in world title contention at the end of the year, but Matteas ruffling some feathers. I had a chat to him after his heat. I said, you fell on an opening wave where you went for an air reverse on a really lippy section. I said, if you had made it, that would have been a big score. And he goes, you wait till tomorrow. So Matteas, he's ready. He's ready to be back in the jersey. You take down one top seed, it's easy to take down more from there. So Matteas, it meant the world to him to get a big win over Griffin Colapinto.
Julian Wilson, the first to congratulate Matteas. That was his biggest inspiration growing up. Now Julian's his team manager and backing him this year on tour. 8-3-3 and a 7 as Griffin Colapinto lost with still a 7-8-3. Surfing was there, came down to waves, and those big end sections were undeniable for Matteas, Rich.
Yeah, it was really good surfing from Matteas. You know, he was kind of saying it's frustrating being in that opening 4 heat round of this competition. He's starting to get through these heats, and this was a big pinnacle moment for him. He actually wanted to get those higher seeds. You know, Griff, unfortunately, we lost Croz in the heat before that as well. So the Colapinto matchup definitely is not going to happen. They're both out of the draw. 2 big names going down. But yeah, we got to kind of, you know, hats off to Matteas. A really, really good effort against one of the opponents that I thought was in the top 3 in the warm-ups of the warm-up day when before we got competition underway.
Any worries about Griff, like we just talked about Caroline moving forward?
Not really. No, Griffin, he had a moment at Bells where he said, I'm not afraid to lose anymore. I've done it. I've come back from a worse result and then went on to his very best result. So Griffin, he knows how to bounce back. He knows how to stay calm and to use his amazing headspace to his advantage. So I'm not worried. Not at this point. If we went a couple events with this, maybe I'd start to go, oh no. But at this point, no.
There we go. Now we lead to our Boost Mobile heat of the day today. Hard to pick with the waves we had today, but we had a big Aussie crowd back in this, man. There was a lot of heads floating around the audience for Liam O'Brien as he took on Kanoa Igarashi. They've had some fiery battles in the past, Rich.
Yeah, they sure have. And well, Kanoa had got the jump on Liam on every single one of those heats. But today, it went the way of Liam O'Brien. We just talked about, you know, his Gold Coast point pedigree and the read that he has on these style of waves. We had Britt Merrick in the booth during this heat, and we sort of touched on the fact that Liam's so underrated. He's one of these surfers that should be rated higher than what he is. His surfing is at that level. He always seems to dip out, but dips out in heats where he's scoring really high scores, you know. So this time he put it all together, and again, this was another one where Kanoa came fighting back and had the opportunity on the final wave, but just the wave height let him down. The precision surfing of Kanoa was on point, and really this was a really tight battle. But Liam got the win.
Yeah, that's right. Kanoa has been brilliant in the free surfs. I've run into him time and time again the last few days, and I thought he was a favorite to win. In fact, he had the high single score in this.
Yeah.
But the lob mob on the beach was too hard to deal with today.
The lob mob, that is such a good name for it. Like, I completely agree with you, Joe. I would say that Kanoa's in world title form. It's the best I've ever seen him, but Lobby, he's just so good at this part of the woods, at this part of the world. And I really feel like with that performance he put on today, sky is definitely the limit for Liam O'Brien here at Snapper Rocks.
Yeah, it's insane to see Liam, you know, so calm, so comfortable. The guy checks every box, in my opinion. He's so brave, fearless in giant waves, you know, point break specialist, and so cool as a cucumber. Hopefully this sparks his charge. He barely requalified. That last spot in the Challengers Series, be nice to see him nice and comfy moving down the stretch of the season, Rick.
Yeah, and again, when we sort of touched on Liam's performance, it was almost like he just needs to get through a couple of heats and make a couple of finals to get that confidence and that belief in himself. And I feel like if he gets that, he'll be off and running, and his trajectory will just keep going up and up.
Well, now let's get to our Mophie Power Move contender of the day. This was a special performance from the fastest surfer on the planet, two-time world champ, two-time event winner, and defending champ of the Gold Coast, Filipe Toledo. 9.5 went to Hammertown today.
I love Filipe Toledo surfing. It is just absolutely insane. Those first two turns, they had 6 points in itself, and then he came back through the inside, started to wait for this wave to grow again. Look how he doesn't force anything. He doesn't try and out-surf this wave. And then it just hit this little Marley section and bowled up so incredibly well. Gets a float for the finish there, looks back to the beach. The crowd absolutely erupted in that moment. And Filipe had a glimmer in his eye that I feel like we haven't seen for a while. He is so switched on and ready here at Snapper Rocks.
Just his control of heats when he's firing at all of his powers. He can just create moments that just fall in his lap, and he reminds you how he's still unbeatable in high-performance waves, especially here at Snapper Rocks. This is where it began for him. First win in 2015, won last year. There's no signs of age. He can still go giant above the lip, land in the flats as hard as he can, and that rad nose pick reverse didn't even count in his top two today, Rick.
Yeah, that was radical. You know, he was really the benchmark of today. Put on the masterclass. He looks fitter and more switched on than ever before. He's definitely dropped a few kg. The dad bod's looking like real tight now. So, you know, talking obviously with Marcio Zuvi as well during the heat, and you know, the equipment's dialed in, which is really daunting signs for the rest of the field.
Little adjustments, lowering that tail rocker, and look at the magic that he turned in today. The fun part about this event is a thrilling Surfline forecast. You know, when we showed up, we're going, wait, are we going straight through? You sometimes don't want to jinx it, Jesse, but things are still looking really good to get back up and running tomorrow as well on Sunday.
I was completely thinking the same thing when everyone's like, you're going to run 4 days straight. I was like, please don't jinx it. But the swell is just looking so good. We have this amazing just swell really starting to hit the coastline. It's got a perfect amount of south and east in it, which is why we're seeing these really fun low roads at Snapper. Obviously today a little bit more size in it to what we saw yesterday, and tomorrow it's sticking around. 5 to 8 foot faces offshore in the morning, cross shore, but nothing too crazy by the afternoon. And then we look to Monday, 6 to 8 foot faces offshore. In the afternoon it's across offshore. It gets even bigger. And then we look even further down the week, the swell doesn't stop. So we do really have this privilege where we can really pick the eyes out of the next couple of days, but it's so hard to walk away from Snapper if it's pumping.
Oh, it's firing. How are those numbers? I mean, we know what we've come through. We've had some tough events wave-wise. Onshore winds, a lot of lay days, finishing at the tail end, which were fun finals days. But this is the best forecast we've had so far this season.
Yeah, we've got a buffet of swell that we're just going to gorge out on over the next couple of days. And I think the wind's going to be more of a factor tomorrow. And I think it's going to be better today. We had a lot of those squalls come through, as Rab was alluding to. And they've started to settle, and I think the weather's going to start to clear, and then a bit more south in the wind, and it's going to be just so groomed out here. And I don't think it's going to be a hard choice in the morning. Hoping that wind's going to be on point, and then
Don't jinx it.
perhaps we'll get the Commentators' Cup going later in the week.
Oh gosh, so much to look forward to. I'm just going to sleep in the booth tonight because we got some big heats coming up with some great waves. That's all you want. Hydrolite heat to watch. This is a banger. I'm going to force you guys to pick a winner. Gabriel Medina, world number 1, 3-time world champ, taking on 2-time world champ Filipe Toledo, both all-stars today. Who wants to go first? I dare you.
I'm going to go off my bracket challenge and my heart. I really believe this in my heart. I picked Filipe Toledo to win over Gabby Medina. I actually picked Filipe to go all the way to the semi-finals in my bracket challenge. So tomorrow, I'm going to go with Filipe Toledo taking it over Gabby Medina. Whoa.
There we go. That's a big one. That's upsetting world number 1. Richie, are you on the same side there?
I don't know. I'm kind of getting full moon vibes trying to pick a winner here. I'm going to actually flip the little Mophie battery. Circle's going to be Gabriel. The back's going to be Filipe. Circle. Gabriel.
Okay, he just flipped it. So yeah, I mean, so it is a Mophie power toss, is what you're saying.
I tossed the Mophie power battery. And,
that's kind of like sitting on the fence a little bit.
Yeah, well,
right?
I wanted to sit on the fence.
Yeah.
What do I do here? I just flipped it.
You don't sit on the fence.
No, well, we got the result. Gabriel.
You know what? I didn't know you were going to turn it on me, but...
yeah, Joe, what are you doing?
What do you think?
It's just the mojo of Medina is scary right now. There's an aura about him. I honestly feels like he starts off the heat winning before a wave's caught. He's still carrying that kind of energy. It's that hard to pick, though. I think surf fans are winning to have this matchup. I can't believe it's this early in the event. We've got another Hydrolite heat to watch. More pressure on you guys. Get ready. Betty Lou Sakura Johnson made a statement before the season started. She's like, how are you guys going to handle the legends coming back? She's like, I'm going to smoke them. You know, the next clip, she started cracking up, but she's ready for it. And for Gilmore, this is her stage.
I cannot believe I'm about to do this. Like, I cannot believe I'm about to say what I'm going to say, but I'm picking Betty Lou.
Oh, that's big.
She's just surfing so big and so strong and really, really, really fast too. Her equipment looks amazing. Steph has forever been my favorite surfer, but I just think Betty Lou is going to have the edge.
And she's got to back up the fire that she was sending to the legends at the start of the season. She's going to be going all out. What about you, Richie? Are you going to flip the Mophie thing again?
I'm actually going to flip it again.
Oh, that's so heavy.
Okay, circle for the goat.
That is so heavy.
Stand for Betty. Here we go. Oh, Betty Lou. Double Betty Lou. Oh, my goodness. Actually, you know what?
No,
I'll go
you flipped
step.
it. You flipped it. I'm kidding.
Is it that? It's that hard to pick.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? I think it's Steph's time. I think there's something that reinvigorates her when she's home. She's one of those surfers that lifts her performance in front of this audience, which is her community, from government officials to her neighbors that are going to be backing her. You know, 6-time champ, 7 final appearances in this career. I think it's the GOAT's turn to get off and running with some big points.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And just chatting to her today, she kind of has a different energy around here, for sure. Leaning into Kelly a little bit as well. You know, Kelly's kind of been giving her a couple of tips, and that's pretty scary.
It's crazy.
We've just arrived at the Bioglan Daily Dose. Biggest moments of the day today, starting at number 5 on the list. Great to see a Queenslander get some resurgence today and some fire here at Snapper, throwing down an 8.17.
I'm really stoked that Ethan found his flair. He really needed to make a comeback against Rio as well. His back was up against the ropes. I just love the way Ethan Ewing surfs, and he's surfing on this wave. It's such an entertaining thing to watch here. And getting this one so late in the heat, he really did keep us on our toes here. So Ethan just surfing so unbelievably well, and I cannot believe he claimed. I don't know if we've ever seen that before.
That was a first for me. I loved it. Number 4 is just the masterful performance of Medina. That power combo of Adriano de Souza as his coach was insane to watch today.
8s or 8s for Medina, and it was just a really dominating performance from Medina on the backhand. So forceful with each one of his turns. And, you know, we keep saying Medina's back, but he really is. Looks comfortable in the yellow jersey. And we also saw just so many fans arrive at the beach to get a glimpse of the 3-times world champ.
Number 3 on the Bioglan Daily Dose goes to Gabriel Medina in the heat with Sally Fitzgibbons. She actually told Vaughn she had more to show on this wave as she threw all the water out of the tank today.
I cannot believe she thinks she can push harder. This was crazy. That is so scary for the rest of the field that she said, I probably could have pushed a bit harder. This wave, it hit the bank perfectly. It grew down the line and Gabby folded every section in half. She is so powerful. Undeniably the most powerful surfer on the women's side of the tour. And working with Jay Phillips here, those two obviously had a plan and it worked out in Gabby's favor.
Number 2, we saw the Rail Wizard, as Tanner Gudauskas named him today. Jake Marshall was excellent with an 8.83 on the opening ride, Rick.
Yeah, and we've seen shades of this from Jake Marshall down at Bells, scoring really highly. And these style of waves just suits Jake's surfing so well. Another one of these precision surfers, quite tall and lanky, but he's got such a great way of performing on the waves. Tucks that back leg in and just scintillating all the way down the line, keeping all that speed. And he had a hard heat up against Crosby Colapinto. Big
heat win for Jake Marshall. And then number 1 on the Bioglan Daily Dose, Filipe Toledo goes bang, a 9.5, 8.5, 18-point combined total.
This is exactly what I love about pro surfing. Just the best in the world doing their thing on absolute pumping waves, drift the fins, up and over that section. The thing I love most about Filipe, I mentioned it earlier in the Stone and Wood post show, is just he's not trying to outrush this wave. He's not trying to out-surf it either. He's just attacking every moment that presents itself to him. And Filipe getting such a hefty total so early on and finding the form that he's found as well only in round 2. I really do feel like it's only up from here. That turn was insane. It threw so much water out the back, came all the way through the inside and just gave the fans something to scream about. This wave was the highest wave score of the day, and going 18 points in round 2 is really setting a pretty large statement for the rest of the field that he means business here.
Oh, it's absolutely enormous. It's the 4th time that he's had an 18-plus total on the Gold Coast. He has his name next to legends like Mick Fanning, like Parkinson, like Kelly, who has actually joined us for the call there. And when Filipe is in this kind of run, it's hard to stop him. When you think about where he dominates, it usually happens with giant crowds. He thrives off the stadium feel. He's won the U.S. Open multiple times, the King of Rio, where he just looks at the crowd, and especially when he sees some Brazilian flags like we saw today, and that helps that performance lift even further. He's a guy that can pace himself as well. He could sleep it off and show up again tomorrow with a big explosive performance.
Yeah, there's another element to the Brazilian Storm that we haven't really touched on, and you just actually did touch on it, Joe, is the fact that they love to perform. They love to actually put on a show for the crowd instead of just, concentrating. I'm going out there for the win. You want to get the win, of course, but they also want to really show off. But you know what? Tomorrow we're going to lose a Brazilian world champion out of the field.
That is radical. Huge heat to watch there. Filipe and Gabriel Medina, Steph Gilmore, Betty Lou, Sakura Johnson. The draw looks insane. Thanks for watching a big day of pro surfing here on Saturday. Tomorrow's call will be made at 6:45 a.m. local time for a possible 7:05 start. It looks promising, and we'll see you then. Take care.
For me.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.